In the history of Islam, the teachings and actions of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, serve as an essential guide for the Muslim community. Every instruction from him had a deep, meaningful purpose aimed at preserving the core tenets of the faith, ensuring unity among Muslims, and avoiding practices that could lead to deviations in belief. One such teaching concerns the advice the Prophet, peace be upon him, gave to avoid going to a particular place called Al-Uloa. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was cautious about the influence of certain practices and places that could lead Muslims away from the pure teachings of Islam. The incident of Al-Uloa comes in the context of the Prophet Muhammad's, peace be upon him, efforts to prevent the emerging practices of innovation and misguided beliefs among Muslims. In the early years of Islam, the community was being established in a region filled with various tribal and pagan traditions, some of which involved idol worship, superstitions, and exaggerated reverence for certain places or objects. Al-Uloa was one such place that had a history tied to pre-Islamic practices, where people had once gathered to seek blessings, make vows, or engage in acts of excessive devotion. These practices, although well-intentioned by some, were susceptible to becoming forms of shirk associating partners with Allah, which Islam strictly forbids. To protect the community from falling into the same mistakes as the pre-Islamic Arabs, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, cautioned his followers against going to Al-Uloa. His primary concern was that the site might become a place of excessive reverence that could eventually lead to idolization or distraction from the worship of Allah alone. As narrated in various hadiths, the Prophet, peace be upon him, told the Muslims, "Do not go to Al-Uloa, for it is a place of fitna, trial." This simple yet profound instruction highlights several key principles: preventing innovation, bid'ah. Islam emphasizes the importance of maintaining pure monotheism, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, wanted to protect the Muslim community from developing practices that were not part of the divine revelation. The focus should always remain on the worship of Allah through the prescribed acts of worship, salah, zakat, hajj, etc., and not through acts of devotion or pilgrimage to places that could invite innovation. Avoiding superstition and idolization. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was aware that human beings sometimes turn ordinary places into sources of excessive reverence or superstition. This could lead to the danger of attributing divine qualities to places or objects, which is a form of shirk. Islam teaches that no place, no matter how significant, should become an object of worship. Unity of the Muslim Ummah. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was always mindful of preserving the unity of the Muslim Ummah. Practices such as visiting Al-Uloa could divide the community, creating factions that focused on specific sites or practices rather than the shared bond of worshipping Allah alone. The wisdom behind the Prophet's, peace be upon him, advice about Al-Uloa lies in his deep understanding of human nature and the challenges his community would face in a changing world. Even though some might have seen the place as a place of blessing, the Prophet, peace be upon him, was aware that over time, human tendencies could lead to distortion of the true faith. By advising against visiting Al-Uloa, the Prophet, peace be upon him, was safeguarding the purity of Islamic monotheism, Tawhid, ensuring that no distractions or deviations could seep into the practice of the faith. This warning was not just about a physical location. It was about safeguarding the hearts of the believers from the subtle dangers of superstition, innovation, and division. The advice of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to avoid going to Al-Uloa reflects his role as a protector of the true essence of Islam. He was not merely concerned with outward practices, but deeply focused on guiding his followers to maintain the integrity of their beliefs and actions. His caution about places that could foster misguided practices reminds us of the importance of staying true to the central tenets of Islam: worshipping Allah alone, avoiding innovation, and keeping the unity of the Muslim Ummah intact. As Muslims, it is essential to heed the wisdom of the Prophet, peace be upon him, in all aspects of our lives, ensuring that our actions remain aligned with the pure teachings of Islam.